Situations for me is like I like you enough, but not not enough to take the next step and move forward into a relationship. It's not only a F buddy or a cuddle buddy. We go out here and there. Like I'm not gonna just have you come and play the crib. We're gonna do things. You know, we're gonna talk. We can laugh. I can talk to you. I can confide in you. Other than that, I can't see you in my future. You're here for you're for right now. That's a situationship.
Well, I mean, I think we're all pretty clear about how we want to define what a situationship is. I think let's talk about some of that black love, that magic, that chemistry that we do have in a space, and talk about what healthy relationships look like. Like when we're talking about black love, we're talking about marriages, we're talking about intimate moments of connection. Like what are we talking about in our community? We're talking about something that's sustainable, something that is built off fabrication, something that's real.
I'm not even gonna lie. I had a hard time distinguishing between, you know, what black love was from just love. So you might be able to help shed some clarity on that, because I was sitting really thinking, like, what's the difference?
There really is no difference, in my opinion. Love is love, period. I don't care if it's black, white, Asian, white, black, Asian. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, if it's love there, it's love there. For us, we coined the term black love in order for us to love one another. You know what I mean? Like, we're so divided at times. Like, let's keep it all the way 1,000. The black man's usually absent from the picture. You know, we lay up with these women, things happen, and then we disappear. And then now we got another generation coming up with no fathers, don't know what the guys, you know, like. And that's where in my opinion, where black love is coming from. So let's show that family dynamic that people say that we don't have. That's black love, you know, that full-fledged family type dynamic. And you don't have to have kids and all that stuff, but you know, you and your relationship, and y'all open about your relationship. It's a monogamous relationship, and you know, you're about that person, they're about you. Y'all holding each other down. That to me is black love.
When I think about black love, and I definitely hear you too, Ken. Like when I think about black love, I think about it, right. There's no real difference between love and black love, other than the people who are encompassed in that dynamic are racially black. And it's building that level of empire, right? It's building that legacy. It's recognizing the fact that we have a story, we have a struggle, and regardless of stereotypical perspectives, regardless of the negative narratives, here we are to overcome and to build together and to inspire other people to continue to build together and to say, listen, like my brother, my sister, my partner, my lifelong partner, we are building together for our community, for this marginalized community that we are part of, because we get each other, because we understand. And that's not to say all black people understand the experiences of every other black person, right? Like my experience in life is different from Kevin's, is different from you, Barack, but at the same time, when it comes to love, and so long as you're loving another black person in this conversation for the sake of Black History Month, it's recognizing that that's sustainable. It's telling people, hey, you know what? Two people of color, two black people, regardless of one's gender, sexual orientation, whatever the case may be, can love each other and can say, hey, I am here for you, for better or worse, and I am here to build with you.
And that's what it is. And we ran off with black love because we started seeing it more.
Yeah, I was just
so that's where like the hash, you know, you got the Obamas, you got the J and B's. You got, and there's other figures out there, but those are the top ones that we always think about. You know what I mean, there's that couple down south that's inspiring somebody else because they've been together for 30 years. Right. That's stuff that we don't see all the times. The media does not portray us
in positive light.
So we had to create it for ourselves. Like, listen, there is black love out here. We love each other. We love our black, beautiful women. You know what I mean? Not saying that we don't like other varieties, you know what I mean? Like, as a man sitting here today, I've dabbled in all varieties. But, you know, at the end of the day, I knew that my beautiful black woman is what I wanted to be with. That's not saying there's a knock towards any other race out there, but that dynamic is what I want to build off of. I want kids to see that, the next generation.
I've seen the term black love more so associated, socially, more so associated with celebrities and how they come together and how powerful they are. I don't know if people are using them as motivation.
Like power couples?
Power couples. So two black couples, black love, power couples. People always using black love as also as black excellence. Also, we talked about that in the past show. And I've never really seeing them associate that with just the regular black family, black couple, mom and pop. Like it's like
I've seen black love. I've seen black love with the around the way mom pop shop, like people and couples and relationships too. But I think that in the world we live in, I don't necessarily think this is a conversation about black love. I think it's a conversation about Hollywoodifying our lives and glamorizing our lives. And I think we live in a world where hashtags and social media only wants to show the people who have taken the photographer, like the photos with the professionals or like these phenomenal moments in life, but we don't document all of the everyday things. And I think that that's really part of the movement. When we talk about Black Excellence Boston, we talk about black love itself, is to talk about what happens on a regular basis, like taking a trip to the park, sitting at home, just relaxing,
and that's where,
yourself.
like, speaking of Hollywood, amazing industry, whatever. People have their opinions on the industry or whatever, how Hollywood depicts a lot of things. But, when we thought about power couples before, it was always, Caucasian people. We always was trying to strive towards what they were considered as success. That's what was told to us. That's success. That's what you want to live to. But then when you really sit back and look at it, there's people that's wealthier than them, happier than them, and they look like us. Right. So that's where I feel as though the black love movement comes from. It's not saying, and it could be a black and a white person. Like, that's still black love. To me, I don't care what your other. I mean, you can't have two Caucasian people and say black love. It's just, I don't think that dynamic's gonna work. But if one of our sisters or our brother decides to be with a Caucasian or Asian or whatever the case may be, that's what they love. That's their love. That's black love to them. Yeah,
I don't know. That's black love. I think that's interracial.
I understand what he's saying.
But I get what you're saying.
It's still black love because they're still building that dynamic, especially as a brother, regardless of whatever race it may be or whatever. We were depicted never being part of the family dynamic. So now it's still that love. It might not be dubbed under the black love, but here's a black man raising a family in love with the person that he's with. Yes. Period. So to me, that's still black love.
That's family. I mean, I hear what you're saying, right? Where it's just like that because of the fact that there's a person of color, a black person who's in that dynamic. But again, when I think of black love, like I'm thinking two black partners. I think when I'm listening to the conversation with a person who's of a different racial identity, that's an interracial dynamic. That's an interracial relationship, and you have to acknowledge that one for what it is. I think it can be black love and then have the whatever the other element is, but I don't think it's exclusive. When I think black love, I think exclusivity. I think it is solely based off of everything that is focused on building that black community. And when there are other elements that are encompassed in it, that's beautiful. That should be celebrated. It doesn't take away from the black identity by any means, but you have to call it for what it is too. Like a person who's multiracial, a person who's biracial, like you have to acknowledge the different elements of that person's identity. I don't think it's fair to tell a person to just choose one. And so when I think about black love, again, it's two black people who are in love with each other, and I think in other elements it's an interracial relationship. But nonetheless, again, once a person of color, once a black person is in that dynamic, you for sure need to understand the ethnic, cultural, and racial elements that will contribute to that relationship, especially if you're talking about rearing children and building them to be confident.
As long as you acknowledge the black side to the relationship, then I'm fine with it. But back in the day, and still to this day, people have problems with interracial relationships. Now you're trying to tell me that person is no longer considered in the black love dynamic because they love somebody else that's not in the same race as them?
Not particularly. I think what I'm talking about is, I think it's two different conversations. So if you're going off of black love, right, and talking about what black love is for itself, that's one thing. But when you're talking about whether or not an interracial relationship takes away from the black community and from empowering the black community, that's a totally different conversation. And that point, I would never say it's true.
Okay.
Because I think that
long
interracial
as we hit
relationships
that, we good.
will still promote, you know what I mean? But black love is black love amongst two people who are black.
Okay, there you go.
So that's how I see it.
Like I told you, I really didn't have a definition for what love was because I've been so disconnected from it.
Why are you so disconnected from it?
I mean, last time.
Let's talk about it.
Right.
Let me get my Dr. Phil on real quick.
If I'm really thinking, to be honest with you, the last time I could say that I actually was in love, I was like between the ages of like 21 and 23. I'm 35 now. Like I haven't been in a situation.
So there's
like
nobody
that.
in your life right now that has a potential of saying, damn, I love you.
No.
Why do you think?
So why are you wasting your time then?
Well, wasting my time on what though?
Whoever you're messing with.
That's not. I'm not wasting.
I'm asking a legitimate question.
I'm trying to get to
what
that
Kevin
point.
is trying to
So
say is, are you? Wait, hold on, Barack. What Kevin is trying to ask
Maybe I'm just too blunt with it.
Are you in a dynamic where you are attempting to build something sustainable?
Or are you just in a situationship?
I'm dating.
You're dating.
You're dating. So the people that you're dating.
Go ahead.
You say you're 35. I don't know what your plans are.
Dating.
You know?
Yeah, I'm dating.
You dating, which is fine. Some people just do not feel as though. Well, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you have to be in a relationship. That is not what I'm saying. If you don't never love somebody, that power to it, brother. I love you. All right, you can love me.
Hold on, listen.
Pause.
Listen, I'm not. Again, when I'm talking about the love I'm talking about is in a romantic way.
Right.
I do love. I love people. There's people that I love.
Right, but you're talking about intimately saying that I am in love with a person.
When you're dating these women, we all know, and I'm not saying there's some women out here that are savages, but you know, some majority of the time they're looking for something more. Like how are you fighting through? Like how are you swimming up that river? Like is it always a situation? It seems like it'll always be a situation for you because they're gonna eventually evolve into feelings.
Yeah,
you're spending time with them. You're doing all this extra stuff during the daytime.
Do you have clear boundaries?
No.
Yeah. No.
You saw his face. No.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Are
It
you
usually gets to a
leading
point
them on, or
where. It usually gets to a point where.
It
It usually gets to a point where they want more than I'm willing to give at that moment. Because I usually.
And then what happened? Well,
but
you can't say at that moment because you already know that like.
Or in 2 months.
Nah. I ain't gonna love this girl.
I said because you're saying like, okay, at that moment. So that's one thing at that moment, right? Mm-hmm. But then that moment can't just change in 2 months just because. So like, if a woman is saying, okay, you know what, Barack, like I'm really feeling you, I want to go somewhere, and then you decide at that moment you can give them more, but that's not a long-term moment for you. Is that not a setup?
It's not a setup to me though. It's not.
That's not.
It's not a setup.
So,
go ahead.
How is it not a setup when it's a temporary decision that you made in your mind when she's under the impression that it's long term because you're able to give it?
Who says it can't be long term though?
You just said it's not.
No,
long
I said at that time, I'm not ready to give them what they're asking or looking for.
You just said, I'm speaking on when you said I am ready. At that moment, I'll give them that.
Oh yeah, I did say that.
So in the moment when you said, in this moment, I'll give them what they're looking for, you are setting them up. That is playing the game. Because you know long term, you're not really committed.
I could actually get to that point. I could get to the point of committing long term.
So to the ones that you're giving them the chance to is because you decided, hey, I will actually build with you. I'll work towards building with you.
So your roster right now is potentials. And I'm not saying that you have a roster. I'm just saying,
yes.
In theory,
yes.
If you have a
because
roster.
it's on air, that's a sign.
No, I'm saying yes. I said yes. I'm answering the questions.
Ladies who are listening right now, and you know you are dating Barack, he is interested.
Who you texting, bro?
No,
he is interested.
Who you texting, bro?
He is interested. You know.
My phone. It's y'all going off right now. It's y'all going off right now. Listen, for real.
Listen.
Yo, but we all over Barack. Bernadine.
I'm in a position where. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going, though.
Huh?
He's like, don't listen.
That's what he said. He's texting her. Yo, get offline right now. We went offline.
I'm with the ish. Let's keep it going. I'm with the
You
ish.
talk to us. You're the married man. What's that marriage? What's that engaged life like?
Amazing.
Okay, but what's amazing about it? How did you know that the woman you're engaged to right now is the one?
You got to go through a lot of bad moments to realize what's the right moment. Mm-hmm. And when it's right, you'll just know. That's why I can't tell you a pinpoint thing like this is the blueprint to make sure that you get to the engaged life. Mm-hmm. You just got to know for yourself. And I think for me, my whole life I was living like a child. Mm. You know, and then when I started getting serious with somebody, there wasn't the right person to be serious with. And
how do you know that?
You know, so I got out of my last situation or whatever, and then I was free. I was a free bird. I was doing what I wanted to do. But when you building up a roster, you start realizing things that you don't want in life. Mm. And then when that one person comes along and they give you a majority of what you want, then you be like, all right. You slowly start seeing the roster start disappearing, and then next thing you know, it's just that one person, and then It's that friendship dynamic. It's that trust. Because a lot of the people on the roster, I'm not trusting you. Because you know what the situation is right now. Yeah. So you could be doing the same thing on the other side, which is all fine and dandy. Because I'm never going to tell you, hey, listen, you got to do this way, but I'm going to go do my own thing. Nah, I'd be a hypocrite at that point. Yeah, so, you live your life, I'm going to live my life. I see you at 2 in the morning, I see you at 10 o'clock. If we hanging out during the day, then you might have a potential.
And it's also need to know.
I don't do that daytime stuff. That's daytime stuff.
So if you're on night creeper status, then you ain't the one.
Nah, chill. If I'm calling you after I do an event, I'm coming out the club like, yo, what you doing?
I don't do that.
What you doing?
Right.
Yo, I'm gonna come through, bro.
That I don't do. Right?
You a lie.
I really don't do that. Truth be told, I really.
Well, you don't go out though.
I don't go out socially to the clubs and all that, but I'll do the lunch, I'll do the dinners. I'll go out in the daytime.
See, that's doing too much though, because once you start talking about lunches and dinners
y'all
and all
are two
that,
different people. No, that just means that one is night and one is day. So like if you're talking to somebody, if Kevin is talking to somebody at night, and that's the only time he's talking to you.
That's messed up, to be honest with you.
But
it's not messed up, because I tell you straight up.
You're gonna take him to lunch and dinner, and no, you still aren't.
And you know you're not.
So it doesn't really matter what hours.
To be honest,
it depends on the man that you are.
Even a late night creeper, you still got potential. Because listen, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you might get a lunch date.
Oh, okay. So she might earn it to daytime.
But it's also changed along. It's also changed along the way.
Nighttime might earn it to daytime.
It's all changed along the way. All of it's changed along the way.
Right.
Like Kevin said, when we used to be out, I'll do the same thing to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I just got out, I'm coming to check you. Boom, and that's that. I don't do that no more. So now I have to change.
Right now he doesn't go. Right now he's
now we're going out.
Let me buy you a burger.
Not burgers. I'll do more salmon burgers.
That's a burger.
Salmon burgers.
He said not burgers.
He said not
salmon burgers. Not the beef. Not the beef.
But and I hear you too, Kev. Where it's just like you just know once you have.
All jokes aside though, like daytime dating is nothing really wrong with it. You know, I've talked to people during the daytime.
We're talking real crazy right now.
But nah, there's
talking
levels.
Real crazy.
To me, there's different levels to it. You know what I mean? Like there's just the nighttime people, and there's people that maybe you'll see during the daytime. Listen, phone conversations. If I only talk to you through text
messages. Kevin's right though. The process.
That's true.
The process of
I don't do phone calls. Like I can't sit on the phone and okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna sit here and listen to you breathe. You know, but the day I sit here and start listening to you breathe, then okay, there's something here. Like your breath, your breathing is amazing sounds. Like,
no, but yes, if we're not doing something, if we're not doing something, it's all short and quick to the point. We're not gonna sit on the phone like, oh, how was your day? Tell me about how we're not doing that.
Not to mention, you can't do daytime with me because I have a savage circle. The females in particular, they'll make sure that they'll let me know.
Right. No. So no, I hear that. But I mean, I think when I think about this relationship life, I think that y'all are both comedic. Y'all are funny.
Pause.
People.
If y'all want to join the conversation, the telephone number is 774-257-4722, or jump on our social media at The Urban Collective Show. We're talking about marriage, black love, situationships, and now we're going to jump into Bernadine's business.
I was trying to
finesse. I was trying to be Kevin's doing great.
I want to get into that.
Doing great.
Because I want to get into that because
I'm not talking about.
Yeah. So what is your actual status right now?
But I feel like Kevin talked about.
Okay, so now are you dating or are you in a situationship?
I'm in neither of the above. I am in a building myself life dynamic. So
that's real.
So there's no
that's political.
I'm building myself.
Vote for me, Bernadine True.
I'm not running for office.
There's no man right now that's getting any of your time right now?
Absolutely not.
So you don't be giving out numbers, none of that stuff?
I didn't say that, but I'm saying as far as getting my time, like, no, that's something that you earn. And you earn that by being persistent. And I feel like nobody stepped up to the plate. So I'm all set. To be honest. I'm serious. Now, have I ever loved before? Childhood ways, when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, for sure. But I think more so where I am now, I was in a position where I thought I loved. I thought I was in a position to be in love, but after really reflecting on a lot of that, I went through a lot of challenges in my life, and if I didn't love myself, how could I really give my love to anybody else and expect that love to come back to me? So
I hear what you're saying. I mean,
That's where I honestly was. That's where I
I think
learned that
certain
from.
people could make you realize or make you. It forces you to love yourself because you're gonna grow with that person. Because to stay alive, truth be told, some people pull certain things out of you that you didn't know was in you. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's why I say it takes. You can't. There's no blueprint to this. Right. Everybody has their own time frame, their own vision. Because, truth be told, ask all of my friends. I always had. This is what it's gonna be. I'm not dating this type of woman. I'm not doing this. I'm not. Yo, everything that I said I'm not doing is what I'm with now.
If I'm gonna be honest with the listeners and ladies, men out there, whoever's listening and wants the Bernadine experience or truth dynamic, is honestly, like, I was in a position where I felt like I grew a lot. I grew a lot to really, like Kevin was saying, where somebody pulls certain things out of you, right? So I was in a position where I really was lost. I really was going through a lot of personal life challenges, and I just didn't know what I was doing with myself. And I thought I was in a position to love, but it wasn't until I took a step back and recognized that I went through a lot of hardships and I needed to work through those elements of my life and really find myself through that, would I really be able to give the kind of love that I was truly looking to receive back.
But as somebody, you said, you're working on yourself to grow and all that. Mm-hmm. Every day we're growing.
Right.
Every day we're working on ourselves. At least we should be.
Right.
When are you going to open that door to somebody in order for them to get to that? Because you're not. I know you.
Right.
You're not trying to give nobody no play, no time of day. But yeah, you could have just walked by the person that was supposed to be for you.
You can hear it from how she talks and how she carries herself. She's not going to just sit there and let anybody just come into her life like that.
No.
Yo, but how do you know if that person's right for you?
She'll know that though. To be honest,
you don't know off rip though. That's why I can't stand when people say, "Oh, it was more than a physical attraction." You're lying.
Yeah, it is. My man, listen, my man just said that.
You don't know that. You don't know that person yet.
What? Because I just didn't. I didn't try it. I didn't
honestly
talk about it.
No. I'm just saying, like, in terms of people be like, "Oh, it wasn't a physical attraction for me," and how? How is it not? You don't know this person from Steve. You don't know his personality. You don't know his mental capacity. All you have right now is just a physical.
Jason just told us.
For me to be in a position, like, I hear you, right? Because it's just like, well, am I pushing people away? I'm not necessarily pushing people away. It's not like that. I'm not in a position where I'm like, don't talk to me. You can't have my number. Don't. No, it's nothing like that at all. But I'm also saying, time tells all. Right? And so a person can be like, oh my gosh, like, I think you're dope. I want to talk to you. Whatever. You can get a number, whatever the case may be. But if the conversation's not going anywhere, then that's dead. Right? So then it's just not happening. If you're not looking to build yourself, if you're not understanding that you are part of this life journey as well, then it's over. Like, there's certain things that I have, certain preliminaries, right? When I look at I call people who are interested prospects, and everybody's applying for the job. And if you're in the process of applying for the job, then there's some preliminary questions that I'm reviewing this resume.
What's the preliminary
question is,
for you?
Okay, for me, honestly, it's just like, what are you looking for? Not in a relationship, but like, what are you looking to do for yourself? What is your visions? What are your visions for yourself? Where are you looking to go? Tell me a little bit about your life story.
What if he doesn't have his vision yet?
The person, and
what if it takes you to pull that vision out of him?
So, but having a conversation.
So because he doesn't have a master plan, you gotta go back.
That's not. See, but now you're putting words in my mouth, and you didn't ask me the question. Then let me answer it. It's not about you having the perfect plan, but it's understanding that you are changing. It's understanding that you are developing. Okay. Somebody who's telling me, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. That's a different conversation than somebody saying, like, look, these are my options. This is kind of where I'm trying to go. I'm a little confused about this. I'm a little bit more sure about this. I'm navigating my world in this arena, and I'm looking to see where it goes. That is a conversation of substance. That, to me, is telling me you're thinking about where you like to go. You're putting things into action. You're maybe in school. You're maybe looking to transition out of a job. Whatever the case may be, but you're doing something. And I don't know.
Say that one more time.
What are your preliminaries?
Questions.
The questions, like B said, honestly, it's like where
I'm
at right now as a man, at my age, as single as I've been, it's like what I got a lot going on for myself that I put myself onto. Mm-hmm. It's like where's your level? Where's your head at? What are your priorities? What are your goals in life? And it's like, because I want someone that's gonna be able to compliment me, and vice versa, I compliment them. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm not with the I don't like somebody who doesn't have a plan, because I actually do have a plan on my own. That I want somebody to, go on this journey with. Because I see my peers, even being in here right now. Like I said, we have a lot of black love in this room. And it's like, I look at y'all and I'm like, all right, I see what Kevin's talking about. Just sitting here, listening to you talk, I'm like, all right, he's really speaking from the heart about his lady and all that. I want to be able to do the same thing.
Right. Well, you need something real. And I think that's what we talk about black love too. When I think about that hashtag, when I think about that movement, when I think about that life, it's something real. It's understanding that it's not about it being pretty and perfect all the time, right? It's like, listen, like when you're in love and when you love somebody, from my understanding and interactions, like it can get very ugly. It can get very messy. It can get very complicated. People are compromising. People are pushing themselves in ways they didn't imagine that they'd be able to push themselves. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to look back on that journey and say, but I didn't do this by myself. I always had this person to my right. I've always had this person to my left. And this building was always there. So these preliminary questions I have is also seeing, can you have fun, right? Can you take yourself seriously, but not too seriously? Can you also make me laugh? Can you make me get out of my own head? Can you make me experience and enjoy the little things out of life too? And it's just being able to really navigate through those spaces is key for me. It's key because I'm building. I know what I'm working towards. And if you know what you're working towards, great. So that's done, right? So now can we actually focus on the other elements of life, about the joys in life, and not just about the hustle, but being able to relax and being able to build and being able to grow together as well in a true, meaningful way that's not just about social media and the glitz and the glam, but about the heart and the soul.
Like real spit too though, B hit on it. I want to say B hit on it like a little while back, and I do get in my own way. It's not always about the other person. I get in my own way too, because she had said something to me about me being emotionally unavailable, and I actually took that. I took that. No BS. I actually took that. I took that home with me.
I
sat there. And she's right though. She's right.
I'm not laughing at you. It's just I remember the conversation. That's why.
She's right though.
That was a conversation.
There's a lot of things that people say, and if it does hit, I'm gonna take it with me. I took it back to the crib and I thought about it, and she
hurt my man's feelings.
Nah, she didn't hurt my feelings. She just made me think like, she made me think like, you know what? I never really heard that part, because I know what I could say my weaknesses are when it comes to actually getting to the point to experiencing that, because I don't allow myself to get vulnerable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now I'm actually applying. I took what she said, and now I'm actually kind of applying it now. Like, I'm letting myself open up a little more, because I'm really cold. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm only gonna give you. I'm only gonna give
breakfast dates.
No, really, no. I do a whole lot more. But I'm only gonna give somebody. I'm only gonna give somebody. I'm only gonna give somebody something that I'm only gonna give them a part of me that's getting the job done. If what I'm doing is getting the job done, that's all you're gonna get. But B hit on something, and I just wanted to bring that up.
So they're not getting the Netflix and chill. They actually getting
so now you're just talking about the regular stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
I'm talking about the whole love thing.
Kevin is trying to get you to the point. Kevin's trying to get you to the point where you're just like, to this woman, will you marry me? Will you go?
I'm not trying to get nobody to that point.
Listen, I'm not rushing. I
got myself to that point.
I'm not rushing because sometimes I'm not rushing because of my status. It's like, it's about that time though. Like I said, I'm not in no rush.
You a hater.
I'm not in no rush. I've come across a lot of great looking women. No. It's not about the looks for me no more.
If you're looking for something real, that takes time.
It's not about the looks for me no more. It's about just me being.
Looks fake.
I've learned that.
Yeah, they do. It's about up here and right here.
Well, black don't crack, but I get what you're saying.
You see me, I don't crack. You see me, I don't crack. I'm handsome.
No, but that's real. But again, it's like when we're looking for something real, you understand that it takes time and it takes patience and it takes real building and it takes real establishing of a meaningful dynamic where you're really putting yourself in a position of sacrifice and compromise and commitment to growth. So